Okay, so today we're going to be using GIMP, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different today with GIMP. We're going to be editing our gradients, and gradients is basically your blend tool, which is this right here, this little box, right? And when you use the blend tool, you select a gradient, and gradients are these little colors that are kind of blended together, of course. And you can easily download these gradients from like DevonArt or some other places. I'll put some links in the description. But you know, sometimes, you know, you're going to want a color that's not available to you, so you have to make your own, or you can edit. And you can pretty much pick any gradient that's in here, right? Right click and edit, right? Or, you know, just make your own. So we're going to do that today. We're going to select new gradient, and let's go ahead and get this little editor right here. So hopefully you guys can understand what I'm saying, because it's kind of hard for me to explain this because it's kind of weird. But it is useful to know how to do this. So okay, you can notice these little arrows, right? So right in the middle is this basically like the intersecting point, right? You have your black color and your white color right here, and the center is basically where it blends together. You can adjust where the blend meets, right? So when you right click on this, you're going to see this right here. Left color type, or left endpoint color, or right color type, or right endpoint color. The endpoints are what it's referring to are the black triangles right here. So this is the left endpoint, and this is the right endpoint. And you can have multiple endpoints. That's what's kind of cool about it, right? When you make your own custom gradient, right? So let's go ahead and change the left endpoint, which is the left black triangle, which is the black color. So let's right click, left endpoint color. right here, left endpoint color. And let's make it like a, I don't know, maybe like a red or something. Yeah, red's fine. Like a dark red. A maroon. Alright. Now you can adjust this if you wanted to, or just leave it alone. Now let's let's change the right endpoint color. So right click, right endpoint color. And let's go for like a deep, dark, I guess. Like a purpley blue, I guess. Press OK, and again, like I said, you can still adjust where you want the intersecting blend point to be at. Now, to do this is actually easy without having to make your own by going to the where's that right here, the FG to BG, right? You just select your foreground and background color. You can select red or blue or whatever to do that. But instead of just making a simple gradient, we'll add to this. We're going to make like a multiple gradient within a gradient, similar to these ones down here, like abstract. See, as you can see, there's different colors within the gradient. So to do that, this is like kind of like the tricky part. So you have to replicate this little this left side and right side. You're basically just going to duplicate it. So right click and go to replicate segment. Default is 2, which is fine. Now press replicate. Now you have 2 of the same, right? Now when you start editing these 2 segments, you can't just start editing right away by right clicking. You have to actually pick which one you want to edit. So by picking which one, well, to pick one is you have to double click. So double click right here, or double click over here. All right, so let's edit the right one on the right side. So now we're on the right side. Okay. Now you're on the right side. Now you have a left endpoint and a right endpoint, right? Okay, so when you're on the left side, you still have the left endpoint and a right endpoint. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. So let's go to the right side. Here's the endpoint. Let's go ahead and flip this image so we can have the blue intersecting with this blue right here. So let's right click, flip segment. Now it's flipped. And again, you can still adjust if you needed to, like so. Alright, so let's say you don't want the, you like the red and you like the blue, but you don't want this red, right? You want it to blend into something else. And you can do that by right clicking again and going to the right endpoint color. Right endpoint color. And let's try maybe something more on the, I guess, the purpley side, like so. Press OK. Now you got a red to a blue to a faded to like a purple. Okay, now you want to add another color, so you got to add more endpoints. So that to do that, just like before, duplicate this segment right here, right, this section right here. Make sure you double click it so you have this selected. So right click and duplicate segment. Default is 2, which is fine. Replicate, and there you go. Now you got another selection or another section of endpoints to work with. So I want to work with this selection, so I got to double click again. All right. Now again, it needs to be flipped so the purple can blend together. So right click, and we'll go ahead and flip it. Flip segment. All right. Again, you can also adjust if you need to, like so. That looks good right there. All right, and if you wanted to, like I said before, you can still, with the blue color, you can change it to another color if you want, maybe like a green or whatever. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and change it to a green. Okay, we'll change it to a green, but we'll also make it into a transparency. So it's going to be a, this gradual, colorful fade, I guess, into a transparency. So let's right click, and it's going to be the right endpoint. So, but it's going to be called the right endpoint type, right? There it is. Right color type. We're going to put foreground color transparent, like so. All right, now you have your foreground color. Okay, now you have it selected as transparent, but now you got to select your foreground color. So let's go ahead and select this, which is your foreground color, and let's change it to a green, I guess. Press OK. And it's very subtle, you can't really see it, but there's actually a little bit of a green hue to that fade or the transparency. Alright, so that's okay right there. Let's go ahead and save it. Let's call it test. And save it. Alright, close that off. Here it is, test. File new. Press OK. And let's go and just, give it a try, see what it looks like. And there you go. Nice little colorful fade or gradient. And of course, like I was just kind of messing around with colors. You're gonna take your time, of course, to make sure you have the proper blend or the proper color match or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Let's pull the other direction, see what it does. There we go. It's a little different, but anyways. Hopefully you guys understood that. I know it's kind of complicated. I try my best to explain it, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll see you guys later.